In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the steps to get a Pi node up and running. Let's take a look at the minimum requirements. We'll be installing Docker on the Windows 11 PC, so these minimum requirements are more related to Docker because the actual application for Pi node doesn't require too much resources. You'll need a 64-bit version of Windows 11 Home or Pro, Enterprise or Education version 21H or higher. WSL2 feature needs to be enabled on Windows. You need 4 gigs of RAM. And the BIOS level virtualization support must be enabled. If you're looking to install this on a Windows 10 PC, you can check out this video and I'll walk you through those steps. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and install it. We're at our Windows 11 desktop and we're going to open up our browser here. And the website that we're at right now is node.pi.com. And this is where we're going to download the Pi node software. So we have the link right over here. Go ahead and click on that. And then we have 2 options available for us, one for Mac and one for Windows. We're going to be doing the Windows version. So go ahead and click on that. And it's going to download the file, which is 118 megs. And it's done downloading. So we're going to go ahead and install it by opening it. Minimize my browser. And it's a quick installation. We'll just get an icon over here on our desktop. And that's pretty much it to install it. It's going to launch it. And then we have the option to log in here. And we get this welcome screen and we're going to want to log in. And for this part, you're going to want to have the app already installed on your mobile device. So we have the Pi node software installed. And for the next step, what we're going to need is our mobile device. So I'm just going to move this over here to the side. There we go. And there's my phone. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the login button and it's going to give me a code. And this is the code that we're going to want to enter in our device. So I'm going to go over to the menu up here at the top, go to node, and we're going to put in the sign-in code that we see over here. Okay, and once you have that entered in, you click on the confirm button and it's going to sign in and that's been submitted. And you can see that we're logged in here on our desktop. I'm going to go ahead and hide this window now. So this interface is going to be very similar to the one that you have on your mobile phone. If you don't have the app installed on your phone, I'll make sure I link that in the description below, as well as my referral code, because I believe you still need to be referred into the network. You can use that or any other one that you want. And we're going to go over here and then click on the node button. Okay, so there's a couple steps that you're going to want to do. And the first one is to install Docker. Now, I've already previously installed Docker, but I'm going to walk you through those steps right now real quick because it is required in order for this to run. And then the next part is to open up some ports on our router so it can communicate back and forth on the network. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and we'll install Docker. I can go ahead and open up my Google Chrome and I'm at docker.com. That's the official URL. I'll make sure I link this in the description below. And you can see automatically right over here, we have the download Docker desktop. We're going to go ahead and click on that. It's going to download a file, which is 594 megs. Once that's complete, we'll jump over to the installation. Okay, the download is now complete. We're going to go ahead and click on the executable file that we just grabbed. So we get a user control prompt. We're just going to say yes to this. Okay, so we get a couple of options over here. We get the use WSL2 instead of Hyper-V, which is recommended. We're going to leave that checked, as well as if you want a shortcut on your desktop, you can leave that checked and then go ahead and click on OK. And it's going to start to unpack and install files. This process might take a couple of minutes. I'll jump over to the next step. Okay, so the installation is now completed. What it's going to want to do is restart the computer. So we have the option right over here to close and restart, and we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're back at the desktop and we're just finishing up the installation right now. We get the subscription service agreement here. Go ahead and click on accept. Tutorial is about 2 minutes long. I'm going to skip it right now when we bring it over here to the main screen, the extension marketplace. And you can see that we have the bar down here. The engine's running, it's green. That means we're up and running and it's good. You can jump over to containers and run this command to run a sample just to make sure everything's running properly. We're just going to minimize this right now and jump over to the next step. Okay, now that Docker is installed, we can go ahead and go back into our Pi node app and you can see that there is a green check. That means it was successfully installed. And if we go down a bit here, we have some ports that we need to open up, 31400 all the way to 31409. So these 10 ports need to be open. Not all the ports are going to be used. Some of these are dummy ports. I believe it's just the first 3 are the ones that are currently used right now. In order for you to test it, all you have to do is click on the check now button. These are probably fail, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, so this is sort of what I expected. These ports are not open on my router. And that's why this test is failing. So what I'm going to have to do is log into my router, open up the port forwarding option, and allow this to be pointed to my computer. If you don't know how to do that, that is going to vary depending on your computer and depending on your router. Each router might have a different setup. So I've created this video right over here to walk you through the steps of port forwarding. It can be a little bit lengthy process. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in just be a few minutes here. This is a great tool that you can use when you're trying to find out if your ports are open and closed on your router, and it's specific to the Pi network, and it scans the ports that are going to be used. I'll make sure I link this in the description below. All you have to do is click on the scan button, and what you'll see is the same ports that the app is going to try to scan for, and it lets you know if they're open and closed. So right now I have them all closed. I'm going to log into my router, and I'm just going to open up the ports. Okay, and I've just opened up the ports on my router. I'm going to go ahead and start over and then scan again, and you can see that everything is opened here. Now, the ones that are actually going to be used is the first 3 ports. You might notice that there's only traffic going in the first 3. The rest of them are for future use. You may not see any activity there. One other thing I wanted to note is as you're running this test in your Docker container here, so we're just going to stop this right now. So we're inside the Docker container. You can see that a couple of these node port tests were added in here. If neither of them are running and you try to run the same scan, it's going to fail. So you got to go inside Docker, make sure that it's running. You can see all the ports are listed here. You want to make sure that this container is running. You can see the status here that it's running. And if you go over here and you run the test again and you scan, you can see that it's open. So not only does the port forwarding have to be enabled, you also have to keep your eye on the container and make sure that it's up and running as well to complete this properly. So I'm just going to go ahead and minimize all of these. So you can see over here, we're in the Pi node software. It says, please wait. Loading may take up to 1 minute. Sometimes it takes longer than that, I've noticed. Sometimes it takes shorter. You might have to close it and restart it a couple of times. So what I'll do is I'll just shut it down completely, restart it. I know that all my ports are open, so I'm going to go over here into the node. So you get this prompt over here that says your application has submitted, and that means you're up and running. Your Pi node is up and running. You'll get a toggle usually that has an on-off switch that lets you know the status of your node, whether it's on or off, and you can control it there. And that's how you do it. That's how you set up a Pi node on a Windows 11 PC. I hope you found this video useful. If you're having any issues with the setup, this guide as well as other guides are on my dedicated channel called CryptoJar. I'll make sure I link that in the description below. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.